Hello and welcome to Ramble. So today we're going to have a slightly different approach. We are trying out the new version of our deck here with the Amalia Wildgrowth combo. The deck tech is in a separate video here. So this one's going to be more gameplay orientated here. As you can see, we start off with a good 6 and we're up against Mutaran. They lead with a swamp. Now, I decided to run Amelia here. We've got tons of ways to bring her back, so there's no real stress from it. And an opponent paying free life to deal with her, like they do here, is pretty hilarious to us. Plus, if we just wait and then Cosmic Rebirth her back, we get an Explore trigger and our opponent has to pay another free to get rid of her. So I'm more than happy to force my opponent here to keep paying life. So we gain free life, we get to explore. Opponent considers removing her again. Clearly they're scared of the combo, so they use the March of Wretched Soul to kill her. We find a land. We do find the Wildgrowth, which is a bit sad because if we'd waited a turn we could have gone straight off here. Opponent uses Graveyard Trespasser here, get rid of Amelia, so let's Growth Spiral, drop a land into play, and we can switch now to our alternate Niv combo lines.
Reload!
So we find Kaito, Assassin's Trophy, Growth Spiral, good hit. This Graveyard Trespasser is going to invoke Despair. So they draw 2, we lose 4. They get rid of our Niv Mizzet here. We find a Vanishing Verse and also a Kaito, so let's throw down Kaito. We can make our drone. I'm going to pass the turn holding up an Assassin's Trophy. Also, if they attack into... They try for another invoke, so we Izzet Charm that. We draw another Izzet Charm here, which is great, so let's plus Kaito. Problem is here I realise that the discard trigger will still go off here, so if we're going to discard a card to target anyway, I'm going to remove it with the Vanishing Verse. Growth Spiral goes to the graveyard. We'll draw a card with Kaito, swing in with the drone, bounce it to hand, gaining back a bit of life, trigger Kaito again. And our opponent is not respecting the Kaito. Let's see what they do here. They have a think about it. They have a Reckoner Bankbuster. Draw a card here. Probably should have Assassin's Trophy that, but I'm more worried about a Shieldred that I might have to answer later. So let's throw down Wildgrowth Walker. See if we can bait out any removal. We can learn here with a Crown Sessions. But I am an R for a bit here. I want to hold up interaction. And like I said, if a Shieldred comes down, I want to be able to Assassin's Trophy it. Also probably hold up for other interaction. They fought Caesar, so I let this happen. They have a long consideration about what they want to do here. We lose an Assassin's Trophy, which probably means Shieldred is coming down. We draw Molten Collapse, which is another great answer to Shieldred, so let's keep drawing cards here. Supreme, that's literally a perfect answer here because they're mono black, so the only thing we'd have to worry about would be a Liliana or some kind of effect like that. We'll draw a card with Kaito. We find Amelia here, so we can run out both of these and hold up an activation. So we'll run both out here, see if we can trigger our opponent to take them out. They do not. Now, I don't immediately trigger here. Oh wait, no I do. I'm forcing my opponent to make their mind up. We're going to take a Pest Summoning and we trigger the combo here, so this is, as I said, first instance of the combo here. We're going to throw some stuff in the graveyard and just trigger until we find Niv Mizzet, or potentially something else. I'm going to keep an Amelia on top actually, because we have a Supreme and a Wildgrowth Walker. And against an aggro deck, it's not going to combo us out. Like 70 plus life is pretty much unbeatable. Opponent concedes, they realise that they're never going to be able to take out that much life from us. Well, I bring in I bring in the Voice of Resurgence because our opponent's going to be a heavy removal deck. Valki, your time will come, Valki. The minute we get Bring to Light finally in this format, you know, I physically can't do a backflip, but I would love to do a backflip when they announce Bring to Light. No land hand. 2 land hand, but none of the spells can be cast, so we go down to 5 here, which puts us in a pretty bad spot. We have all of our colours here. I'll get rid of the burn spells here. Loot away. I'm expecting a Thoughtseize. Yep, they mold down to Oblivion to get a Thoughtseize. Ochi's Command, not a bad shout. See what our opponent does. They don't do anything, so we'll shock in an Amalia here, see if we can trigger them to use their removal. They do, going down to 15. But our Ochi's Command can bring that back later. Opponent is struggling for lands here, so we'll just keep playing our lands. We'll grab a Jegantha for the sake of things here. They've top decked another Thoughtseize. Now, obviously they should probably... They take out the Jegantha, which is interesting. Clearly they're not respecting my boy Niv. They go up to 4 mana here and cast the Graveyard Trespasser. I could have countered that, but I'm going to wait, because I think I could use this to trigger things. So I'm going to reanimate Amalia and draw a card. They have 1 card in hand. We draw for turn, shock in a land, play on Niv. See, should have took my boy, because you should have respected him. We're going to grab a Voice of Resurgence and a looting card here. Pass back. Opponent plays another land drop here. They are considering what to do here. Right, yeah, they march of Wretched Sorrow to take out Amelia, where they could have... They are so scared of that combo that they could have took Niv out by attacking then doing it. But they would rather not risk us having the combo than taking out our 6/6 flyer that wins the turn in 2 turns anyway. Opponent draws a card, goes down to 9. We'll swing in here. We have them on 1 life, and we have a counter for any creature they might play, so they'll concede. Yeah, as you can see there, they prioritized attacking Amalia over swinging in, then using Wretched Soul to kill Niv. Like, I understand you're worried for the combo, but my word. It does make me smile though. It is basically one of the reasons why I would love to play this. I love to play this combo right now. So we'll drop a Triome here. Opponent is on a Jegantha list, so this appears to be a Gruul Vehicles list. So let's just get a Wild Walker on the field and see if this presents them with scaredness. Yeah. Obliterating Bolt, yep, 4 damage and exile it. Clearly they're worried, so let's throw out another one to scare them and think that we're fully in on it. Now, as I said before, this is a substrain of the deck, if you know what I mean. We can go with the Amalia combo, or we can go straight into our Niv strategy, draw interaction and play the grind that way. As I said, it's one of the main things. So we'll go for Cram Session here. Grab Environmental Sciences, because we need to grab a red here. So I'm going to grab the red from Environmental Sciences so we can go with Supreme. Supreme is such a fun card. Right, they're up to 4 mana. They go for a double Bone Crusher because they are that worried about the combo. Alright, so on our turn we'll throw out our Izzet Supreme. Our opponent plays a land, drops a Lovestruck Beast, has another Lovestruck Beast if I remember correctly. I recorded these a few days ago, so putting the commentary on late is going to be a bit awkward. We go up to 6 mana here. I'm going to Vanishing Verse the Lovestruck, get rid of that. And I'm going to swing in. We have the best options here. We have Ojutai Command as well, so we can counter any scary big creature they might play. So let's counter the creature, return the Wildgrowth Walker. Put more terror on them here. And they just immediately concede. Like, I think they must think that last card in their hand is the combo piece. Right, I bring in, I look at Rolling Vortex again. I haven't run into the Cascade deck literally after those first few days where everyone played it. I'm guessing people like me adapted, put other signs in, and people have just given up on it. Right, unkeepable. So mulligan, unkeepable again, go down to 5. This is where we're going to struggle now because they're probably going to be super fast aggro deck. I get rid of a land here because, you know, we need to get board presence, but, you know, Moto goes, I think you needed that land. Opponent is ramping quite terrifyingly, and then your opponent's like, hey, here's another land, because, you know, you put a land back in the opening shuffler, so let's just make sure you never get anything other than lands. Izzet Chariot, and this one is already running away from us. We need like a big... Yeah, Izzet's Molten Collapse sadly doesn't deal with the Chariot, so let's just play the voice. We could still be okay here. Let's hold off the Molten for a big creature that they'll go for. Sovereign Skyship comes down. Now they have hasty attackers basically because we don't have removal in hand for these creatures. And any creature they play can just crew the ship to swing in and attack. We get a cram session. So I'm going to grab Teachings of the Arcanist here to just try and draw something. But there's 2 more lands, so you know, well, there's a land and a Clophis. So, what you can expect on a multi 5. We're just running it back with the same list. I still feel confident of the list. It's just, as I said, we just see what we can go here. Right, this is a more acceptable hand. I'm going to get rid of the Wildgrowth Walker. As I said, we don't have to go for the combo here. And having removal for their dork into Assassin's Trophy to answer anything else, and then Clophis to gain life, gives us some pretty good stances. Yeah, this deck is pretty awkward with their 2 drops, so slowing them down that way is way better. Huntsman's Redemption. So they get to make a 3/3 beast, get a land, and then go for a +2/+2 and trample. Quite interesting. See what our opponent does here. We just take 3. They go for a second Huntsman's Redemption. So in the end step we'll gain 4 life and draw a card here. We want to get our land drop for Niv. So we'll drop Niv, Izzet down. Good shout. We grab our removal and waste to get him back. They pump their board. Play a land. Play the Akroan War to cake Niv. Hit us for 10. Quite scary. So we're going to have to Solar Blaze here to not die. Then we have an Assassin's Trophy held up or Growth Spiral depending on what our opponent does. Skyship. As I said before, this essentially is a deceivingly hasty creature, so I'm going to just Assassin's Trophy that immediately. They have enough mana that I'm not worried about it. We get to play a Clophis here to try and regain some of our life. Drop a land into play tap to keep our life total relatively healthy. Opponent's considering something. Chrome War dies. They play a Bone Crusher Giant. Let's say this is where we took out the Sovereign. And the Huntsman's Redemption. Right, no other action. So in the end step, let's Cosmic Rebirth Niv back to our hand. Play another, exile the Chrome War. Play another land, throw down a Niv. We still have 3 mana here for cards. We'll take a Vanishing Verse. Now we have removal for anything they try to do crazy, and our opponent just concedes. So pretty good showing there. We didn't get the combo off. This match here is depressing to think about, because I remember this is Mono Green Devotion, and this is probably one of the reasons why, like 100% if I was not recording, I would just literally leave this matchup. Opponent did make the second land drop, so they're clearly struggling, so let's just take out their mana sources, slow them down and buy time. They have an Old Growth Troll, we have an Assassin's Trophy, so let's kill the land with the ramp on it to slow them down again. They hit us for 4. They haven't made another land drop, so I think we can safely put down a Clophis. You know, an indestructible cosmic god that should buy us some time against this deck. Except this deck has Karn, which means that they have access to Haywire Might out of their sideboard. And they have Storm the Festival, which finds them Karn. Salty, yeah, I am salty about this matchup, because I BM in game 1 for a laugh, because it's hilarious to see this ramp deck struggle for lands. So we just keep Clophising, dropping Niv here. Reload! We find Amalia, so we could have an interesting go for the combo here. They drop their Cura. Swing in with the intention probably of getting a creature on the land. So ultimately I'm going to block here. Our biggest problem will be if they drop the Cavalier with the reach to stop Niv getting in for damage. So I'm going to attack here because I'm going to hold up the Ojutai's Command, because their only hope is to play a reach creature or a way to deal with Niv. And in this deck their only options I thought were creatures. So our opponent here thinks they're being super smart because they can untap Karn, Wishboard for the Haywire Might to take out Clophis. Thankfully we have the Ojutai's Command to answer that, so it's very satisfying to actually just screw over the deck here. But this is a rare occurrence. We got lucky because they got screwed on lands. The next 2 games is just what happens when you play Mono Green Devotion. Right. So we bring in Unmoored Ego and Vetoes. Vetoes for the Storm the Festival, and Unmoored Egos to take out Khans and other things. And we get, I just want to show you how ridiculous this is. We get a hand like this. Now we've got no green, it's not the greatest, but we can Unmoored Ego, and I'm pretty sure against this deck, well, we'd get green there. If you take out Karn and Storm the Festivals, you can pretty much survive okay. So, Vanishing Verse, take out their ramp. Opponent goes to turn 3. Land drop into an Old Growth Troll. We're going to Unmoored Ego here. Right. I named Karn the Great Creator, because if you look at their deck, if you can just take out Karn, there's nothing too crazy in there. And now all we need to do, they don't have Storm the Festival, they just have a Nykthos, so there's nothing too crazy going on here. Old Growth Troll into a Mystic. They've got 1 card in hand, they've got 1 draw here. They have 9 power on the board, so I don't want to take that, so I'm going to pass with the Ojutai's Command up. But they top deck Storm the Festival, so they've just instantly won because they have 10 mana on like turn 4. That's with us disrupting their ramp on turn 2. They would have had more had they gone off. So I keep this hand here, which is slightly questionable, but we do have a veto to answer potentially anything they want to ramp into on turn 3. Maybe they're Karn. I don't want to run out the Amalia here. I want to hold up a counter because turn 2 with their ramp they go for either Kiora or any other ramp, but they just have a ton of elves here. I'll tell you there's not much commentary going on, but this is basically how it goes with these mono green decks. You'll see here they're up to 5 mana. They have a Defiler of Vigor, which needs to be answered unfortunately. So I'm going to drop a Amalia for the sake of it and then drop an Assassin's Trophy. Now our opponent has a Nykthos, storms a festival, finds Karn and a Cavalier. Wins the game basically. Yeah, so Karn wishboards for a card I couldn't have removed anyway, that just puts it so we've got no chance. And now I have to hold up counters to deal with the God statue. Karn can tutor again, finding a Shadow Spear which gives lifelink. I don't have it, but there was another green match where they got the new star card that lets them cascade in their end step, but also gives them like uncounterable spells. And it was just, yeah, I don't even want to. True, having a more board wipey presence could have probably helped out here, but at this point this game has just got away from us. Even though we drop our bomb here with Niv Mizzet,
Reload.
We don't hit anything too great here. Just watch this turn and tell me that this is like a fun magic interaction. The only reason I'm not conceding is that I could score big with an Amalia takeout here. Because look, they top deck another Storm Festival, find a Cura, untap their land, cast another Storm and just go off and off and off. And honestly, it's just, I'm at the point where if you don't want to get rid of Khan, you got to get rid of Nick Fuss. It's genuinely just disgusting. Like, yeah, an opponent ramping with mana dorks into a big like Storm Festival, yeah, it's fine. Ramping that into like a what was the old Mono Green Devotion used to play before Khan was spoiled or took into it? They used to play Vivian Ranger, yeah, something like that. Yeah, look at, yeah, wasn't that amazing? They made like 40 mana and completely destroyed. So our only hope here is if we can draw or loot into a Wildgrowth Walker, because that will let us establish the combo, go off. Sadly we don't. So yeah. So that's how you beat Mono Green Devotion. You gotta hope that Arena's Shuffler is kind to you and just gives them the shittest draw of their life. Otherwise they'll just top deck a Storm the Festival and Khan and go off. But I didn't want to end the video on a negative note. We're playing the most boring deck that exists in the format. So we got one more match here, which is against the optimal combo version of this deck. So this is an Abzan drain and gain life deck, which is really fun to see. Opponent goes with a Luminarch Veteran, then plays their Amalia. So they explore with Amalia, finding a Tyvar. Tyvar's a good addition to the deck. That might be an upgrade I could make to this deck. We find all of our check lands and none of our land types. So Tyvar goes down here. If they find a Wildgrowth Walker, we're in trouble. So they don't, so we pass back. I'm going to Sacred Fire, take out Tyvar so he doesn't have anything there. And then I'm going to pass and see what our opponent does on their turn. They go for a Prosperous Innkeeper. I'm going to take out the Amalia now with the Assassin's Trophy. Incidental Explore triggers are pretty good for the opponent. I don't mind them gaining a bit of life, but they have a veto. Good build around here. They swing in, put us down to 10. So let's drop a Wildgrowth Walker. And we'll pass back, see what our opponent does. They go for a Dina, so I'm going to have to get rid of veto now, because they are just going to zoom ahead with life. They play a Wildgrowth Walker. Gain ton, put us down. So we are in trouble here, so we got to go for it. Let's loot with Izzet. We find Amalia, which is perfect. We can Cosmic Rebirth, grab her back, trigger our combo, gain our life, take their board out. And we can Surveil now to try and find a Niv Mizzet to buy the time. Although I do consider revealing it, but our opponent just concedes to save us some time. So, very good here. We bring in the Rolling Vortex. I'm thinking preventing them gaining life will prevent their drain triggers going off. Could be very good. Do a bit of awkward sideboarding here. You know what, while we're talking about this, I think I'm not just going to cut Mono Green Devotion matches from my videos. I don't like how negative I am during them. Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing it. Right, so we play Indatha Triome. Opponent starts exploring and gaining life. We get hit down for 1. We'll play a Wildgrowth Walker here. That puts a block on them. They Tyvar, mill, reanimate a Prosperous Innkeeper. We need to draw a life. We don't draw a land here. It was a dodgy keep, and our deck giving us all of our expensive drops, apart from our little 2-drops, I decided to concede. Being up a game made me take an unnecessary risk there. This 7 is more sustainable. All of our colors are covered. Ojishai's command against the creature deck is going to be a gotcha in a pretty good way. They drop a Haywire Mite, so we'll drop a Wildgrowth Walker. They play Prosperous Innkeeper. We get a land, and we'll just hold back. Another Prosperous Innkeeper for our opponent. Into a Dina. Right, Dina comes in. We're going to Assassin's Trophy her before the life gain triggers go off, just to save us a bit of draining here. We are finding a lot of lands, so we'll pass with a shocked land, holding up the Ojishai's command. They go for Amalia, so we'll counter, draw a card. Amalia, I don't know how to say her name. Someone please correct me. Opponent is checking the graveyard, checking our colors. They play a scout here. I don't think they want to swing in because I don't know why they're not putting pressure on here. This is the point where I get confused as why they don't put in pressure. So we shock our lands and we can pass back. They have a 2/2 which bounces on the Wildgrowth. I understand they want to keep the Prosperous Innkeepers, but they really aren't putting pressure on here. They're playing purely for the combo, I think. They literally want to... I think us comboing made them realize, no, we'll show you how it's really done. But they appear to be having a bit of awkward things here. Right, let's shock this land in, pass back to our opponent. We have Izzet Charm for looting purposes to try and find some answers. Right, in their end step, we'll loot. Land and Growth Spiral. I'm going to keep both of our interactive pieces in case they assemble their combo. We can just pass back again. Opponent drops the land. They should really be attacking here, really, right? Just put pressure on. So we loot away, find another land. We can gain a bit of life here with the Cram Session. So I want them to think that I don't have a lot here. So my plan is to grab Pest Summoning. I haven't displayed Mascot Exhibition to them before. So using Pest Summoning here, I just want to dump in a few blockers to tempt trades. Make them think I don't have anything when I have the Assassin's Trophy if they go for the combo. Amalia comes down. I decide that it's more better to use the Assassin's Trophy because if our opponent sacks a Haywire Mite in response somehow, they could have triggered a gain and put us down. And we find Supreme. So we'll cast an Izzet Supreme here. Opponent checks our graveyard and then decides to rope out, spoiler alert. Which is really disappointing because I think they're annoyed that they couldn't assemble their combo, but we got it off in our game 1. I do love this as a power play. You'll see it happen on this as soon as the time comes out. But I love playing Supreme in paper when you have a loaded graveyard, because then you just pick up your graveyard, siphon out lands and stuff, and just slide another pile of all the cards down, like saying to your opponent, there you go opponent, this is everything I can cast right now. How'd you feel? How'd you feel about your chances? It's very prominent here because we've been looting and answering a lot of their little creatures. So just watch this. Okay, there's everything we can cast. So this one's going to end in a rope out. This is the latest edition of Ranked Rambles. I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to keep trying out this deck, tuning it, changing the sideboard, changing the learn package. But hope you enjoyed it.